currently alive villains right now in the MCU
Yep.
that we've seen. I'm not talking about Dr. Doom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't really real villains in the MCU right now. That's their big problem in the MCU for us.
At all. To tell you the truth. So yeah, that's what I mean. If they're gonna keep doing this, where you decide to change the character in the way where they're not a villain anymore and make them into somebody goofy or whatever the case may be, or doing all these other things, we're gonna keep having these types of issues, and we're never gonna have memorable villains. Because I personally look at it like a movie with a hero is just as good as its villain as well.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but why don't villains feel evil anymore?
Man, bro.
What is going on? Like,
It's weird.
you know what I mean?
It's like we haven't had a really good iconic villain in a very, very long time.
Bro, can you even name the last one?
I'll probably say Thanos.
Let's keep it real. And can we even go into it? I think even Thanos is a little bit of an interesting one as well.
Yes, but he is
The better one I get what you're saying.
Like, he is an iconic villain, but he's not fully evil, I guess you could say.
That's the point I wanted to get into
Where, like,
today.
he is bad because of stuff that he does.
Yes.
But there is, like, this weird gray area where people are like, you know, he kind of has a point to the whole thing.
There was people that literally were tagging Thanos is right. Do you
In
remember
universe.
that scene?
In
universe.
Yeah.
After this is after the snap.
Yeah.
Where your life was affected like crazy. All the people whose lives are affected, their girlfriend moved on and she's 40 now, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, that was deep. And we got people, Hawkeye was sick. Imagine that. You just went to a play about you, and then you go in the bathroom and you see Thanos was right.
Yeah, it's insane.
Bro,
That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna keep it real. It's a little bit interesting. So I get what you're saying. My whole thing is this. I am sick and tired of our morally gray villains.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's like every villain now is morally gray. And then even the ones that we used to have that were real villains, they're starting to make them now morally gray or anti-heroes.
Yeah, straight up anti-heroes.
Venom used to just be a villain.
Yeah, now he's the lethal protector.
Now he's the lethal protector.
I don't like that, to be honest.
Punisher was not a hero ever. Now I would say Punisher is more of a hero than he even is an anti-hero.
Yeah, because he was definitely started off as like anti-hero
Yeah.
type vibes, definitely.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now he's definitely leaning more into
hero.
You
You know what I mean? And obviously, you know, shout out to John Bernthal. It wasn't that bad, you know, for a brand new day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, bro. And then now it's like they're talking about we're gonna get the new X-Men, and the whole slate of these characters are supposed to all be morally gray, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because even like having Jean Grey as the villain for Spider-Man, it's like, that doesn't really make sense to me. And we talked about it before, where it's like, Spider-Man has one of the most iconic rogues gallery of all comic book characters ever. Him and Batman are up there with the most iconic rogues gallery.
Yeah.
And his villain for his movie is Jean Grey.
Is an X-Men.
Is an X-Men?
What is going on?
That doesn't, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. And I like, and besides all that, like any other villainous characters that we get for these movies are super, super forgettable. Supergirl's villain was super forgettable.
Bro, I mean, let's even be honest. Like, it was super forgettable. Yeah, it's like even when we do get a villain,
Yeah.
they're just forgettable as hell.
Who was
It's
the
like,
Thunderbolts villain? The Century, kind
yeah,
of?
it was kind of Century, but that's another thing of like what I mean of that moral grayness, where it's like his is even weird too, where it's like he almost has a Hulk situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going on with him. But like, bro, we could even go earlier Marvel, where, bro, what happened to Loki?
Oh my God.
Loki, he was a whole villain. He's a full hero now.
Yeah, and he's a full-on hero now.
It's not anti. It's
Yeah,
not
no.
what. He's a full hero, no questions
Yeah.
asked. You
He's
feel
not
what
a
I'm
villain
saying?
at all. Like, but like that's the problem. I think Marvel had that problem for a very, very long time, where a lot of their villains, like early MCU villains,
Yeah.
were straight dog poo poo.
Yep.
If we're being for reals, bro.
Yep.
Ironmonger.
Yep.
Malekith.
Yep.
All these guys are super, super forgettable characters.
They were.
There's a couple that are like, you know, Red Skull's cool. You know, recently we had the Vulture.
Yeah.
Mysterio was pretty decent.
But do you even see what I'm going into again? Is that like that was a problem I had with the way that we're portraying villains nowadays, is that all of them have the same thing where it's like every villain was just this guy who was kind of wronged and it's like it's so real world where it's like, oh, you know, we're all the little guys who only get the scraps from Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And it's like, where is the connection to him not liking Spider-Man for? It's like, oh, because you just kept trying to stop me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, and I get it. That's, I guess, how the story really does start, is that Spider-Man shows up and just starts trying to stop these guys. But it's like, bro, I don't have beef with you. I got beef with Tony Stark.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's a whole different thing. And like, even not just Marvel is not the only one who has that problem. DC does it too much too. Harley Quinn.
Yeah, bro.
Are you
Poison
kidding
Ivy?
me? They're old, bro. I will even say Harley Quinn more than Poison Ivy because they keep doing it where, oh, let's make her just like this goofy, funny character where, you know, she's kind of cool with Batman sometimes. And, you know, she's also a hero a lot of the time now. And you know what I mean? It's like, what is going on where they almost started to highlight Harley more than Joker?
Yeah.
She has more iterations, I think, now than the Joker.
Damn near, probably, yeah.
So it's like,
might be wrong.
You know what I mean? So all of the real villains now are almost shelved. Like Joker, his villain story, we even changed it where it's like, you know, is he even really a villain in the movie? Because there's that whole thing too where it's like, oh, well, Arthur is just a guy who was pushed too far.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then you kind of go into all these other things where it's like the Joker was just a nigga who was mad for what we know of, and then like we don't really actually know his real origin either because he always lies about it. So there's a lot of those elements that made those characters more scary. Green Goblin, you're never gonna see him as a good guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's certain guys that like Palpatine. You're not gonna see him as a good guy.
Yeah. Fire Lord Ozai is like, it's not gonna be a good guy.
They're just bad.
You're just a bad guy.
You get what I'm saying?
I think nowadays, we don't get that no more. And I think the reason why, I think they don't want us to, they don't want to have that, you know, that villain versus hero story.
Yeah.
They wanted to have some type of nuance to it.
Yeah.
Which I think when they were first starting to do stuff like that, it was kind of cool.
It was okay.
Like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of nuance to this villainous character. He's not just a bad guy just to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, every villain now is just kind of morally gray.
Dude, it's too much because it's like, I get it, bro. There is definitely a medium where people think that we're asking to get the twirly mustache villains. You know, that's what they're thinking. We're going to, that's what they're thinking we're going to get. But it's like, that's not what we're asking for. We're just asking for, we need some people that sometimes when we walk out of the theater, we're going, this guy cannot be redeemed.
Yeah.
I don't want to like this dude at all. Like, I'm talking, we need to feel, and look, obviously, shout out to the people who had some of these type of situations. Bro, the kid from Game of Thrones, they hated him so much. Joffrey?
Yeah.
They hated that kid so much that he was getting real life death threats how good he played that villain.
Yeah, we need that more.
We need that more, bruh. Like, we don't need these people like brothers playing Snape getting death threats because he's just playing Snape.
Yeah.
Because people are doing that because they're like, dude, why are you in this role?
Because the way he looks.
Yada, yada. You feel me? I'm talking about, bro, you are such a good actor in your role of this villain. People go, I can't believe you did that to your sister.
Yeah.
Dog, it's a show.
Almost forget it's a show or a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need those guys back.
Come on, bro.
I need these type of villains back because every now and then it's like we just get some random guy from a movie who I don't even remember their names. Like the villain from Supergirl, I don't remember their name.
Yeah.
The villain from the Marvels movies, I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
It's like you just get this random ass villain that they beat up in the movie and then they're done for forever.
Yep.
Like, I don't care about that.
Yeah, and then even doing that, and this is what's also funny, to even kind of play on the other side of it, it's almost like to talk about the heroes as well. We're trying to do this thing where the heroes are morally gray too. So then it's almost this thing where it's two sides of the same coin all the time. And I'll say a proper way of doing the two sides of the same coin is Zuko and Aang. That's a perfect way of doing the two sides of the same coin where Aang felt like, and they even had that scene where Aang said word for word what Zuko said, where he said, I'm trying to regain my honor, or whatever he said. Something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
Bro,
but he's also
come
the thing
on,
where it's
man.
like they fully turned him from a villain to a hero.
No, I know, but my point, I'm not.
That's a good. That was a good example of them doing that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point is, you seen the transition happen in that show alone.
Yeah, it was warranted.
Right. But my point is, it's like you'll see. It's just with comics is different. Venom is a villain here doing this over here trying to eat Aunt May, and then next week he's over here lethal protector.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. And then, like the whole thing with like the Avatar thing, it was like a good thing where like Zuko. You can even see from the beginning of the show, he was kind of had some weirdness with his family or whatever. Whereas like Azula is straight up evil throughout the whole thing.
Thank you. Azula's a real just villain. They didn't try to portray Zuko as just, hey, I'm just evil guy. You've seen the inner turmoil with him. Even like with his uncle, you already seen Zuko had a temper. There were certain factors about his character that you've seen. And
Definitely.
Azula is what we're talking about, where she's the Mephisto, where she's the, you know, these characters that are just the dark side, that are just always bad. You feel what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, if you want to get into the comics, she becomes good eventually, you know, after some time, kind of. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying.
After
it's
she
like,
lost her goddamn mind.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, though, that I think when it comes to doing that, it's like the hero being also this like morally gray thing as well, a lot of the times just doesn't really work out. And using Supergirl as the example, she kills the villain at the end of the movie. Yeah, she kills Kree or whatever his name was. So it's like you tell the little girl, like, bruh, you know, it's not worth it, yada yada, you'll be just as bad as him. Old girl walks off, and then you're like, bruh, but I am just as bad as bruh,
and I'm gonna kill him now.
That's basically the point you just made. It's like, you're not as bad as him, but I am.
Because the whole thing with that, like, that doesn't make sense. It's like, if Supergirl is just straight up just willing to kill this guy, well, she does kill dudes in the comics and all that stuff, right? Yeah. Why didn't she do that like 30 minutes into the movie?
That's what I mean.
Like, right as soon as she, you know what I mean? Why didn't she instantly just freaking, you know what I mean, kill this guy?
Well, you know what I mean? So it just doesn't make sense when you go into those things. So that's what I mean is, like, I think that's a big part of my issue too, is that when a lot of times they try to do a morally gray character or villain, the hero tends to kind of blur the lines too. So I'm like, well, what the hell's going on? Like, and I get it. They're thinking, oh, it's more human. But bro, this is a comic book. Go based off of the character. Like, obviously, there's not going to be too many real guys who are going to be as good of a person as Peter Parker. Yeah. But that's something to look up to. That's what the reason is. Or the villain is somebody to be afraid of, to look at and go, oh my God, I can't believe they do that. Like, thinking of a great villain is Griffith from Berserk. Mm-hmm. He starts as your boy, and then as you guys are having this story the whole time, he's just looking at you as a competition while you're just looking at it like, I got a new homie. Yeah. And then when you beat the nigga, it sends him down this spiral that leads him to go and basically sacrifice everybody he and you know and love for power.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing I don't like about, like, nowadays with villains, where it's like they're kind of good, like they have a reason on why what they're doing they think it's good. Yeah. And I know sometimes a lot of, like, villains just to be villain would just do stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, a lot of, like, with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, you know what I mean, she wasn't, you know, she didn't like the government or whatever the hell. Yeah. So she's almost like this kind of, like, rebellious regime type of thing. But it's like, in the comic books, bro, like, Flag Smasher and all them were just, like, straight up villains for us. Like, there was no redeeming qualities for them at all. Nope. And they do, like, in the video games though, too, like in Miles Morales video game, like, you know, like his friend, it's like she is kind of doing this for a reason because, like, her dad died or something like that.
You're spinning right now, bro.
And it's like, why can't this just be a villainous character? You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, it's different where, like, you have, like, a Doc Ock where it's like he starts off as, like, this mentor guy, and then because of his experiments that he did on himself, he slowly starts to turn into this villainous character, right? Yeah,
he's being controlled.
That is different. Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's a good way to do that, right? But when you have a character like Thanos, who in the comics just did it just because he wanted to get a little bit of, you know, something from death. Yep. But in this one, he's like, you know what? The world needs to be fixed.
Yeah, it needs to be balanced. Yeah. There needs to be balance in the universe. It's like, why do you care about that? Yeah. You know, and then it's like, because on my planet, I basically was a slave almost, or we didn't have enough mouths to feed, or there wasn't enough food for, you know, all the mouths. Yeah. And it's like,
why don't you just double the resources?
You feel me? Get the stones, double the resources all over the planet, so nobody ever has to run out of stuff.
Yeah, you could literally just do that. Why don't you just do that? And it just makes it make no sense at all. Even like characters like Killmonger, where it's like, you know what I'm saying, he's trying to do this thing where
he wants to put vibranium around the whole world or whatever.
For all, like, every, like, black person in the world or whatever. Yeah. But then it's like, you just want to take over everything.
Yeah. Have control.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then it's just like this thing where, like, you know, at the end, T'Challa is like, you know,
he was kind of right.
And it's like, dude, like, you know, be like, why did you have this whole thing where you know, fought him, killed him and all this stuff, when in the end you're like,
you know what?
Let's do that thing that he was trying to do. Let's just do it. Yeah.
R.I.P. Cuzzo, but
I mean, mind you, he did do it in a better way. Yeah. Not as a very, like,
in your face.
Yeah, he didn't do it in a violent way that Killmonger was trying to do it. Yeah. Where he was trying to just, like, send all these weapons out. We're gonna take over everything. Yep. Whereas, like, T'Challa was like, yeah, you know, we'll help out some kids in Oakland or whatever. We'll show them our spaceship or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, why? Like, his whole arc was, like, kind of, like, a little bit diminished at the end when T'Challa was just like, okay, yeah, we killed bruh. Let's just do it now. Let's just do his plan.
You know
That was a
what?
good plan.
Let's do what Cuz always wanted.
Yeah.
It's like, really, bro? Now you're like, you're gonna do his wish, but bro.
But then in the second movie, it's like Shuri sees him and she's like, "I'll never be anything like you." And it's like,
but your brother did.
yeah,
So you going against your brother's wishes? Because I'm like, bro, apparently your brother agreed with what he had to say at the end of that movie. So it's like, and obviously, he had a little bit of a more gentle approach, but I mean, he didn't really disagree with him when the movie ended.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So dude, you just spit right now, bro. All of those points, especially Black Panthers too, that was a great point of like, yeah, all of the villains are a little bit morally gray. You know what I mean? Even like a Namor.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was another one where it's kind of like, it's always just a revenge thing. It's never a thing of, because this is my thing. If these people want to be so real world with it, in the real world, there are actually people that are just bad. It's not always a thing that people had a bad childhood or they got broken up with or
just evil.
Whatever. It's like, bro, some people are just bad. Their brain is messed up. There's something going on, whatever the case may be. That's why I like characters like I said, what we know of Joker's origin, the thing just made him crazy.
Yeah.
And it messed up his brain. And, he might have already had a couple things that were his childhood that messed him up a little bit. But what else could you know what I mean? Adding all the extra elements and making it like, did they give me a chance?
Yeah.
And it's like this kind of thing against like the government or something where it's like the government created Joker. The system created Joker. It's like
experiment or whatever.
You know what I mean? It's like,
come on, dog.
no, and I'm talking about like where I'm almost saying society.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Beating him down and stuff created the Joker.
Yeah, that's
It's
a little
like,
annoying too. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
'Cause
Really?
Even like characters like, I'll say kind of closest. Like Galactus was a good villain, but it's almost a thing where it's like, he is bad.
But it's just because he's like bad like a bear.
Exactly.
Like an animal.
He's bad like an animal where it's like, he has to.
Yeah.
Like if I had to eat only sandwiches for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But every sandwich I ate had an entire population in it.
Yeah.
But it's like, dog, I gotta eat you guys.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, dog. I'm hungry.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Gotta
like,
sustain.
That's he's not really
a bad
he's
guy.
a villain, but
Yeah.
it's like the way they portrayed him in the movie, it's like he's doing it because he kind of needs to do it.
Okay, those villains I think are outside of the bounds of regular villainy.
It's a necessity.
Because I was gonna say they're not in the bounds of regular villainy because their villainy is so wide scaled that this thing doesn't even realize it's villainy. So that's an interesting thing because Joker knows he's doing bad.
Yeah.
Bane knows he's doing bad. Some of these guys know they're doing bad. You know what I'm saying? And I think that something like that, bro,
it's otherworldly. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Where it's almost like, if I see this big group of ants that are just crawling in my living room, all they're thinking is, dude, we smelled a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is disgusting. You're cooked, and I'm gonna do a genocide.
Yeah, you're invading my home.
You feel what I'm saying, bro? I'm about to literally raid every single one of these dudes.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, and I don't think anything of that, but to them, they're like, dude, that thing that just sprayed that toxic gas, you know what I mean? That poison cloud, whatever that giant being is evil.
He's the evil guy. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. But like, I'm trying to think of like a Marvel villain from the movies, I guess.
Yeah.
That are just bad, just to be bad. The only like I really think of like is like Red Skull.
Yep.
That's the only like I really
You're
think
talking about in the MCU
movies,
that
in the
we've
MCUs,
had.
yeah. Like he is the only villainous villain.
Yeah.
Who is just a villain just because he's evil.
Yeah. Not even.
I can't really think of anybody
Even
else.
the robot, even Ultron, he wasn't a villain just to be a villain. He went on the internet and seen everything.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
you
seen
guys
how
are
terrible we
cooked.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we got to restart.
I mean, I guess like maybe like Ronan was kind of a villain, but I don't really remember his.
Yeah, he kind of was just because for
He was
power.
just bad, yeah, for power.
Yeah, he wanted to just get the stone.
Yeah.
That was pretty much his whole thing. Yeah.
So I guess they do kind of have some, but
They have
like
a couple.
Like Whiplash, low key, is kind of just a villain, just
Yeah.
to be a villain.
He was too.
He was already in jail and stuff. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
he
They
just-
did him terribly in that movie,
Yeah,
but I mean, he had a couple of aura scenes.
He definitely did.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like Marvel just doesn't really do good at having just straight villains.
Yeah, and that was another thing too, is I think Marvel are a bit cowards when it comes to handling villains, getting rid of villains, doing what they need to do. Because we can have villains return and do things like that. Because I'm not gonna lie, I think always killing off villains is bad. To be honest with you, but I think. Yeah, especially when it comes to the superheroes, that's that stuff I'm talking about, the moral gray stuff, where it's like, oh, well, they killed this character because of whatever. But I think it depends on who the person we're talking about is. Like, If it's Spider-Man, it's like, bro, don't make him crack the guy's neck.
Yeah.
Don't make him spine bust this
Yeah,
guy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, dude. You know, so I don't know. It's like when we start going down that road where it's like in the same movie that Green Goblin bombs a hospital, Spider-Man goes and breaks a regular goon's back in the street and kills him. It's like, what are we doing? And then in that movie, Spider-Man, he did that because of Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Or even like Iron Man is like, dropping like bombs on this like villain or whatever, and like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, why you guys didn't have to kill that guy?
You feel me?
I mean, he was doing some crazy stuff, but like y'all could have, thrown him in jail.
You know what I'm saying?
Use him for later type of thing.
You
know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I don't know, dude. That's just one thing. I just hate the one-off villains, especially when it's like this guy could have been more than just this one-off villain.
Seriously, instead of wasting them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their problem is over there. With like, I think they're just kind of scared of just having just a straight bad guy. And if it is a straight bad guy, they're like, okay, we got to kill him by the end of this thing. That we can't keep him around. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just so weird. Like Marvel has a lot of those villains where it's like, this could have been a generational villain, but then y'all turned him into like an anti-hero, like Baron Zemo or something like that. Like that could have been a really dope villain for Falcon or the new Captain America to chase down and follow and stuff like that. But it's like they didn't do that. They have him dancing in the club.
Bro, you just added a whole new part that I didn't even add. Dude, even there you go again. You just added new characters I didn't even think of. Even what called Abomination?
Yeah, come on, bro. Oh my God, bro.
If that's not the biggest character assassination I've ever seen in my life, Mike.
That's insane. Yeah. Yeah.
One of Hulk's main villains, damn near his arch nemesis, other than Red Hulk.
Yeah, bro. Currently in the MCU, the only real villains we have is damn near just Kingpin.
Yep.
And even him is a little bit kind of,
a
little bit morally, you know what I'm saying? It's a little weird. You know what I mean? But like currently alive villains right now in the MCU that we've seen. I'm not talking about Dr. Doom or whatever. Mm-hmm. There aren't really real villains in the MCU right now. That's their big problem in the MCU for us.
At all. To tell you the truth. So yeah, that's what I mean. If they're gonna keep doing this, where you decide to change the character in the way where they're not a villain anymore and make them into somebody goofy or whatever the case may be, or doing all those other things, we're gonna keep having these types of issues, and we're never gonna have memorable villains. Because I personally look at it like a movie with a hero is just as good as its villain as well.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The villain makes or breaks the movie, I think, as well. And I think a lot of people forget that it's like, yeah, bro, this is really gonna affect your movie in many different ways if you don't do this the right way, bro.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So
definitely.
I digress.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think down below. If you guys think that the villains are starting to get worse, or you think maybe the villains are gonna start getting better after Dr. Doom and all this, maybe James Gunn got some random obscure villain under his skirt that he's gonna pull out. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.